Happy Easter, guys! I'm not a cartoon. I do have more outfits, but I kind of feel like the Barbie ones, yes, become a post mark of this channel. But it's getting warm, so I might be getting some new Barbie merch. Who knows? But yeah, I am here because I just watched the second episode of season 2 of New Who. That's an Easter egg for those who watch Doctor Who. But this episode was called Lux. Lux as in light. And I like this episode in general. It was a weird episode, very meta. So yeah, the episode starts with the Doctor and Belinda trying to get back to 2025. For some reason, they are being bounced back of 2025. We know something else is going on. I also have my little list of notes. Yes, I do put notes on my episodes. Yay. But yeah, we have a cold opening of some people watching a movie. We know it's a old timey movie because it's about the nuclear bomb, so probably the 50s. Spoiler alert, it is 1952. But yeah, after that we get a cartoon, Mr. Dingaling Donk. And I put this note. Okay, so the power of the moon brought him up to life, which is literally what happens. Moon comes out, touches the projector because it's an old timey projector, and bam, this guy comes up to life, and we just hear 15 people screaming, and then we got the credits. Really like the credits. I have liked them since the beginning. We go back to the Doctor and Belinda. Really like how skeptical Belinda is of the Doctor. First time he met her, first time she met him, she saw him with a girl. The girl straight up died, and she's literally like, I don't know if I can trust you. People around you seem to get hurt. I like the skepticism. I wouldn't be like that. I'll be like, oh, we're running through time and space. I guess I'll die in the 51st century. But she's skeptical. She talks a bit about her family. Her mom is a violinist, and her dad is an accountant, so I'm excited we might get to meet them. But the doctor does some timey-wimey, blimey-simey thingy, and he has a machine that should hunker them down to 2025, and he says, well, this machine might work, we might have to do a couple of stops along the way, which is code for we're gonna have several adventures. But they got out, they landed in Florida, Miami, 1952. Immediately I was like, okay, we have two people of color in the 50s in America. What are we doing? But they got dressed, they have these cute little outfits. They're walking around, they see this diner, they see this movie theater that is closed, and Doctor does the doctor thing and starts investigating, and she's like, yeah, this is all fun and games, but let's bounce. If I can go home, let's go home. And he's like, but what if we don't? What if we investigate? And she's like, ugh, I guess. They go into a diner, they're talking to the guy there, and there's a lady that's like, oh, something happened in the movie theater, 15 people disappeared. One of the people was my son, Tommy Lee, and I always like to talk about him if you guys want to talk. And the doctor is like, is that okay if we talk to her, because she's sitting in one of the booths of the diner. And the guy's like, well, it's at night, so who cares? And Belinda's like, why the fuck wouldn't we be sitting there? And the doctor is just like, 1952, Miami, this diner is segregated. And she's like, what the damn hell? Where did you bring me? And the doctor has I don't know. I understand the approach of the doctor. He's so old. He's been through so much shit. But he said, and I'm saying verbatim, I've toppled worlds. Sometimes I wait for people to topple the world. Until then, I live in it and I shine. Which is an attitude. I'm not sure if it's my favorite attitude. Like, I know he's a traveler and he's an observer more than anything, but I also don't think he needs to be okay with just living in a segregated world. But yeah, they talk to the lady. The lady's like, police came here for a while, then they stopped coming, but now I have hope because I see the police box. And he's like, well, my police box brings you hope. I'll do my best to help bring back your son. Again, Belinda's like, can we bounce? But they hear the movie theater still working even though it's closed. So he's like, there's a gatekeeper in an old ass haunted cinema. We're going. So yeah, they go into the movie theater. They are there, and they are seeing a movie, and all of a sudden the movie stops. They're trying to talk to the gatekeeper, a guy named Mr. Pie, and all of a sudden, Mr. Dingaling Ding. I don't really know all the spells now. I'm so sorry, but Mr. Dingaling Ding comes out, and he's like, actually, I'm not Mr. Bingaling Ding. I am a god, like the gods that you went up against the special doctor. And the doctor is like, oh, this is serious. And he's the god of light, and he keeps making this riddle, and he's like, what don't I ever do? And they're like, we have no idea what you're talking about. But they start running, and they are helped by Mr. Pie, because Mr. Pie puts the little short that Mr. Dingaling is coming out of, and he has to always sing the song. So yeah, we learn about Mr. Pie, and his story's so sad. Like, his wife died, but Mr. Bingaling kind of recaptured her in film. So now he can, during the night, he has to put on the movies. So Mr. Bingaling gains strength, but during the day, he can see his wife and dance with her, and it was like a very cute, peculiar moment. And I was like, this is what I like about Doctor Who: the humanity, the beautiful moments. So yeah, that's what I really. That was a really cute montage, and we see her in black and white, and then she appears, and they're dancing together, and she gains color. It was a very beautiful moment, but it also shows the influence that Mr. Bingaling has on Mr. Pie. So then some other shenanigans happen, and the Doctor and Belinda are turned into cartoons, and it's actually quite interesting because they start to gain depth as they get more and more introspective. So Belinda says that she's scared, she does not trust the Doctor. The Doctor tells her that he doesn't have a family, he's the last of the Time Lords. And they start gaining depth and depth and depth, and they are back to 3D, but they're still stuck in the frame. And that's when weird stuff starts to happen. They try to stop the rolling. Nothing happens. Then they think they got out, and they're in this inception moment where they're inside of a dream, basically. So they have this moment where you think they're getting caught by a cop, and they're like, you're in this segregated place, and the lady that was outside, the mama Tommy Lee, was like, this man is weird. And I was like, bitch. But no, it was not her. He was like a misdirect. And I'm gonna stop here because I have more things to say, and the 10 minutes is ending, but I will be doing a part 2, so come back for part 2, please. Happy Easter, guys! I'm back for part 2 of the review of Lux, the second episode of the second season of New Who, with Shuri, the one on Disney Plus. I don't even know what to call it now because we used to have Classic Who, we had New Who, and now we have New Who. But I stopped previously. Oh yeah, I have stuff reading on my hand. I spent time with my boyfriend's family, and there were a bunch of kids, and they thought it would be fun to do some art on my hands. This actually says Love Carlos, which is the name of my boyfriend, and they thought this was very cute. So shout out to those little girlies. They're very adorable. But yeah, coming back to the episode. When I left you guys, we had just realized that the doctor and Belinda were still inside of the picture. So they tried to stop the picture, or they tried to run the picture faster. Nothing happened. So then they tried to break the screen. So they break the screen, and they come out of Doctor Who, the TV show, and they have three viewers watching the show, and they are, for a lack of a better word, they are Whovians. They have the t-shirts, but they're like new Who Whovians. It's very cute. One of them has the Fourth Doctor scarf. They have the Cybermans, and they're talking and they're saying, this is a weak episode. They tell us in the middle of the episode what we need to do. And it got very meta, but it also got very sad because you discovered that they're just ploys to keep the Doctor and Belinda in their fantasy. So they're like, the moment you guys leave, we're gonna disappear. And they're like, if you guys can think about us. It was like a very sad moment. I was like getting emotional. Because they were like, we're inside of a TV show, and they had this funny moment where they asked, what's your favorite episode? And you're like, Blink. And he's like, what about the time that I fought goblins? And they're like, Blink. What about the time that I was under a mine? And they're like, Blink. And Belinda was like, what is Blink about? And they're like, you can't blink. And she was like, riveting. But yeah, it was very meta. I was getting emotional because they were like, we're nobody. And the only thing that I could think was like, Doctor, you have the perfect response for this. I've been in the universe for 900 years and I never met anyone that wasn't important, because they were important. But yeah, they have to disappear. They explained that, please think about them sometime. And I was like, we'll think about you guys. Cute. But yeah, the Doctor and Belinda basically realize that to get off frame, they need to stop the picture. So they kind of held the film. When you see it, it will make sense. They held the film and they are transported out. And the Doctor has a burn, but he uses a bit of his time energy to heal himself. And I was like, how many years of your life was that? Because I remember when the Doctor like helped, I remember specifically with River's song, River had like a broken wrist and he uses some of his time energy and she slaps him and it's like, you just wasted like 50 years of your life, Doctor. But yeah, was all I was thinking. But unfortunately, Mr. Dingaling sees that the Doctor has some time energy, and he keeps making the same vague threat. He's like, what is the only thing that I never do? And he's like, and we're like, bitch, we don't know. At that point, I was the Doctor and Belinda. I didn't know. So basically, it's like, I never go outside because I need light. So what he's doing, it wants to become three-dimensional. So he's projecting the moon through the Doctor to become more three-dimensional and lifelike because he's using the Doctor's life force. Doctor Who at his best. So he starts to get like three-dimensional, but he's in a gross way. You thought he was getting human, but it's kind of like when like things like Family Guy or South Park or The Simpsons, they get very realistic but still animated. So it was kind of gross, and I was like, oh my god, this was kind of scary. Um, but Belinda realizes that she needs to burn the film, so she starts knocking on the door because she knows Mr. Pie has matches because he smokes, and Mr. Pie is like against the wall, and he's like he doesn't want to let his wife go, but his wife appears in a dream, and she's like, come meet me. I was like, is this man gonna kill himself? What the hell is going on? And I think he did. We don't see him at the end, but he says to Belinda, run. And she's like, oh no, I need to destroy the tapes and blah blah blah. And he's like, no no no, run. So he goes, he puts matches on the stuff, and basically what happens is that with the film burning, a wall explodes, and the night was ending, so the day starts, and Mr. Bingling just starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger because he's finally getting fed with light, and he becomes so big that he becomes the universe, and then he literally becomes a god. Because he had so much light that it grew until it was just particles. And basically, that's how it ends. That's a lie. Basically, that's how it ends. All the people come out, and the Doctor is like, actually, it's the day. We're in 1952 in America, so let's go back to the TARDIS. The episode ends with them going on to their next adventure, but then freeze frame, cut the show, because we go back to the three people that were watching the show in the middle, and they're like, oh, again, this episode was kind of derivative. They told us how to go past the enemy in the middle, and then they realized that they self-actualize. So it was a very cute moment, and that's how it really ends. We got a preview for next episode. We're in an alien planet, so we're not on Earth. They are trying to find a body for something. He has a beautiful tear coming down his face. So yeah, final thoughts. Like this episode. Thought it was a little convoluted in the middle. Somehow it was very quick and not in very slow at the same time. Yeah, it was a middle high episode for me. I really liked the story of Mr. Pie. I really liked the story of the three people that were watching the show, that meta thing. This episode was written by Russell T Davies. I think Russell T Davies really shines when it comes to developing characters, and I guess that's why we keep coming back to some of his episodes and some of the characters that he created. But yeah, liking the season so far. Shuri's a great Doctor. He has a lot of emotion. He has a lot of physicality. I think he was just very, very good in the sex education, and sometimes it's hard for me to take off Eric of Shuri and like, this is the Doctor. This is not a facet of Eric from sex education, but that's more of a me problem. Really liking Belinda. I like at the end of this episode she was like, I do believe you, like I trust you, and I'm like, baby, maybe don't trust this man, he kills a lot of his companions. But I've been liking their dynamic because, and one thing I really like about this Doctor is you don't have that underlying like, is she gonna fall in love with the man, the myth, the Doctor. There's nothing like that here. So yeah, we'll see. So far, really liking it. I would give this episode a 7 out of 10. So yeah, guess I'll see you guys next week, and I hope you guys enjoyed it.